Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com. And usually April Fools, I do an April Fool's joke video. Actually, I've only done one April Fool's joke last year. So last year, if you didn't watch my video all the way through, I said I was the new host for Top Gear America, one of the new hosts. And, you know, I'd been negotiating and all these things, and I started giving out figures, like what I was going to get paid, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the video, or at least most people watch a YouTube video for about 3 to 5 minutes. So when that was up, I said it was April Fool's, there was a joke. And a lot of places picked it up, a lot of forums, a lot of friends congratulate. Even saw people 6 months later for the first time in a Cars and Coffee, and they were like, oh, congratulations, when do you start filming? So it was April Fool's. Unfortunately, this is not an April Fool's video. Please watch to the end anyway, because that's how YouTube monetizes your channel and promotes you by how long people, what percentage of the video people are watching. So please always watch to the end. Even if you have something to do, put it down, go do your laundry, whatever you're doing, and let that video run. So I can't mention what's going on, because if you mention anything about what's going on in the world right now, YouTube demonetizes you. If you look through my scroll of videos, I did a video on that last week, and YouTube promptly demonetized me. So, you know, news organizations, you know, CNN, NBC, they can have all the ads they want and talk about what's going on out there. But if I mention any keywords, you know, they take away the $5 I make on this video. It makes no sense. But so hopefully everybody in your family is healthy and well. So far, everybody in mine is. My wife's in healthcare, so she's working, you know, all day long, and I'm home with the kids because they're home from school now. So any videos that you see, hopefully my videos are escape for you for everything going on. And so any videos you see of me driving cars or getting a car fixed or a track day, obviously that was all filmed before this happened, what's going on. So, you know, now that I'm home, I could edit those videos. And there may be good news for you guys as far as the videos goes. The bad news for me is this whole thing, the stay-at-home thing has basically destroyed my real estate business. Every deal I was working on this year, and most of them were going to close towards the end of the year, are all on hold. So I have one deal going on now where the tenant needs to be in October. And I actually found him better space in a better town for half the price. So it just shows you should always use a real estate broker. I'm a commercial real estate broker, so this is a commercial space. But, you know, going to LoopNet and stuff like that, you know, people like me who've been in the business a very long time, we know what spaces are going to come up just because we know the buildings before they're even listed. So we know, all right, I got a guy coming up a year from now, 2 years from now. I know this space is coming up 2 years from now. That's the perfect space for my client. So always have a commercial real estate broker. You don't pay them anything. The landlord does, or the listing broker. They just split the commission with me. So never has, you never have to pay a broker if you hire one to buy a building or lease a broker or to lease a building. So there's no reason not to use it. But anyway, because of what's going on with the economy, and all my clients don't know what's going on with their business, whether they need to sell their building, buy their building, or lease space, everybody's staying put, at least for the next probably 6 months or so, till they figure out how this is going to impact their business. And again, this is small potatoes. The most important thing is everybody to be healthy, so that we, you know, we'll figure out the money we lose, but you know, we can never replace a loved one if they got sick or, God forbid, you know, worse from this, what's going on out there. So basically destroyed my real estate business that I worked so hard to build the last 2 years after getting laid off September of 17. The problem is it's more scary now because when I got laid off September of 17, I had 6 months of unemployment because I had a salary job. Now I'm back to being a commission, 100% commission real estate broker. So I'm technically, even though there's no business, I'm not unemployed. And you can't have your company fire you or anything because, you know, you were a commission to begin with, so you don't qualify for unemployment. And I can't get fired to go collect unemployment because essentially you're unemployed when you have no business, because then I couldn't work on any of these deals and I would lose all of these. So obviously, you know, I had a safety net when I got laid off 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I guess it is. I built this business the last 2 years, and now it's crumbled down. Hopefully it'll come back up. And I know a lot of you watching this probably got laid off or lost your jobs, or you may have commission jobs as well. But I have nothing to fall back on. I have to support a family of 4. So all I have is YouTube right now, which is, you know, basically $1 an hour. Every hour I put into it, I probably get paid $1. So I had one deal left, and And again, it's not an April Fool's joke. I will tell you stories, but never mention names. So I had one deal left with this tenant that I found a better space in a better town for him at half the price. So he's elated. Landlords get stingy because, they're worried, of course, and I've been on the landlord side too, where they're afraid their tenants aren't going to pay their rent, and landlords usually don't own these buildings free and clear. They're usually highly leveraged. They have mortgages on it, and a lot of these buildings just break even until they sell it. Then they sell the dream, hey, you can raise all these tenants' rent or redo the building, put in more, and you'll make more money. So a lot of these buildings really just break even for the landlords. They lose a couple key tenants, they can't pay their mortgages anymore, and then the buildings go into foreclosure. And we may see, if this continues to go on, we'll probably see some of that. So usually there'll be a separate agreement. So in this case, the tenant was leasing a space for about 10 years. And that's typical for this kind of lease, for this type of tenant. And I had done his lease 10 years ago, in 2010. So it was up in 2020. And typically for a real estate broker, you don't really get involved when it's time for a transaction. You're involved the whole time. So I did his deal in 2010. And at that time I had a salary job, so I didn't get paid on that deal. And I've been working with him for the last 10 years to hopefully he would use me when he had a commercial real estate need in 2020. So what people don't realize is it's very different. Residential, you may work for somebody for a year showing them different houses and may show them a lot of houses. But commercial, we typically a lot of times work with these tenants 3 to 5 years before there's some kind of real estate transaction which will get paid. So we'll handle all the real estate for that company, all their real estate needs, so they don't have to hire a real estate manager or real estate department for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, sometimes 10 years in this case. And then we hope we get paid at the end when there's a transactionable commissional event. And a lot of times it doesn't happen because you may be working with the owner, the CEO, CFO, they sell the business, or there's a new CEO, CFO, and they bring in their own real estate guy. And sometimes you work for years for the company and you never get paid anything. So it's like, you work for a lot of companies and hope 6 or 7 of them close a year. That's basically how it works. So all I needed to do, and in my new job at commission, I make about half what I used to make as a real estate manager's salary. So there's already took a significant pay cut the last 2 years. And then I had 6 months of unemployment on top of that. But, everybody goes through that. At some point you get laid off, and I've done videos of this, and that happens to everybody. But, I'm no exception. But I find this one deal, and I'd probably get paid a quarter what I was making last year, this year, just because all the deals are on hold. Hopefully they come back, but I'm sure a lot of my clients are going to go out of business or lay off people where they're not going to be able to transact any real estate, and that's very understandable. And again, the most important thing is being healthy, not making money. But, so I had one deal left, and I said, all right, if I get that deal, maybe I sell cars, I do whatever to get to that point. And then should be enough to feed my family, most of it, or at least 50% of what I need to pay the bills. And we just signed the deal yesterday, so I was elated. I was texting everybody like, yeah, the deal closed, because I was worried. All weekend long, I couldn't sleep because I'm like, oh, this deal's got to close, this deal's got to close, this deal's got to close. It closed. After it closed, and remember, a deal isn't final till it's signed by both parties. Sorry, my phone's buzzing here. And sorry about that. So essentially, after it closes, the landlord gives me a different commission agreement, not the one we've been negotiating for the last 2 months, and basically wants to pay me 4 years from now, which here this is all the money I have left to feed the family, to get paid now. And typically, it depends on the credit of the tenant, obviously. A lot of times they'll pay you on signing, or they'll pay you half when the lease signs and half 6 months later or a year later, depending on the amount. So the original deal was they already kind of screwed the whole thing. They already basically wanted to spread out the commission over 4 years and, pay me the majority. We had agreed, I thought, and nothing is technically agreed to unless it's fully executed by both parties. So it doesn't matter if they tell you verbally, it doesn't matter if they tell you in 50 different emails they're going to do this. They were essentially going to pay me 2/3 now and then 1/3 4 years from now. And I've never had a 4 years from now in any commission. I've been doing this forever since I got out of college. But, we agreed to that. I got to do what's best for the tenant, not what's best for me. So the tenant liked that building. I was giving him a significant savings. It was an upgrade in the town. It was right where he does transact his business. He was going to not only save 50% on his rent, but also for his trucks and everything. They were going to be closer to where they do their sales than where he is now, where they had to drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day in traffic to get where the sales were. So do what's best for the tenant. If the landlord screws you, the landlord screws you. Some landlords don't even pay you. So that's happened before too. I've had that happen actually a couple times this year. So finally I said, if I could just close this deal, this will get food on the table, pay bills for probably 3 to 4 months. And then hopefully this is over 3 to 4 months. My other clients come back. And then even if I go maybe 6 months, because even if the other clients come back, which I'm sure a lot of them will, if we start transacting today or go out today, we're usually looking 6 to 12 months in advance. And then I'm going to get paid, if I'm lucky, a portion of it at lease signing. If it's a sale or closing, which is final, then you would get paid 100% at lease signing for a sale or a purchase of a building. But, typically, even if this restrictions and everything got back to normal in a couple months, it would probably be at least another 6 months before I saw my next paycheck. So you're looking at December, January, realistically. So if I got this thing, I'd be at least set for 4 months. And then maybe I'd become an Uber or something, I don't know. Or sell cars or something, I don't know. Sell BMWs. But, after the lease is signed, I get a totally different commission for the landlord that, essentially they're going to be paying me 4 years from now. Maybe they'll pay me some next year. And I'm sure everything that's going on got into their decision, but this has been going on for months, this deal. You've even given me in writing that you were paying me 100% for 2/3 of this on signing. And then after I give you the signed lease, they change it to 4 years from now. There's nothing I could do. The lease is already signed. I got to do what's best for my client. So it doesn't matter if the landlord says, hey, I'm not going to pay you. There's really nothing I can do. So that's a big problem, because now I'm not going to have any money for the rest of the year, and obviously going to be at a deficit paying the mortgage, paying bills. Kids are expensive. I have 2 of them. And healthcare, my wife works in healthcare. She does a fantastic job. She's helping people, but unfortunately those jobs pay pennies if you're not a doctor. So now I'm in trouble. I don't know. So the good news for you guys, I'm going to be home now since I have no job and nobody's hiring, and you can't leave the house to go anywhere, so I can't even get another job. I should be able to post more YouTube videos. I can't sleep anyway, so I might as well edit. But so it's not an April Fool's joke, and I'm sure there's 1 million people watching this video. 1 million people aren't going to watch. But I'm sure you personally have been laid off during this crisis, or friends and family members are. So we're all going through the same process, not me. But I like to have my videos transparent. When I lost my job, I did a video. I tried to capture the emotion. So I probably should have done this yesterday when I was all pissed off when I found out that I was getting screwed on the commission that I've really worked 10 years for. When I need it now more than anything. But, I guess that's a sign of the times, and I wouldn't be surprised. But just, it's like the little guy. It's like, yeah, the landlord has to watch their pennies too. I certainly understand that. But the landlord has millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars. Do they care paying me a couple $1,000s? I mean, do they really have to push it off because of what's going on? Is that an excuse, or they really have legitimate concerns? I don't know. My guy's been in business forever, and he's in a business that is actually doing, he's not in the toilet paper business, but he's in the business where he's doing very well now with everything going on because people are buying a lot of this product right now. And so it works out win for him. He's kind of rent by 50%, and the sales are probably up 50%. But so I don't really understand why they would do that. So I don't know if that was the landlord's intention, but it's really going to affect me, because this is what I needed to keep me going the next 4 or 5 months. And now I'm not going to have that. So hopefully, most important though, is for us all to be healthy. That's the number one thing. So for everybody to get out of this with every member of their family, that's what I'm concerned about for you guys, and myself as well, my family. So that's what's most important. We can figure out everything else, All right, guys, so remember to like, share, and subscribe. So the good news is you'll get some extra videos. So now more than ever, hit the notification bell, because you're going to get some extra videos this month or going forward for the next couple of months. Not just the typical Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're going to get some Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe occasional video on the weekend. So just make sure to hit that. Not only subscribe, but hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of those videos. All right, guys, leave your comments below how this situation is affecting you. I hope everybody let me know that your family's healthy. If you know anybody that has this that's going on, and obviously, what your work situation is. And hopefully we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you next time.